guys mentioned how hard he is on equipment. Todd Gordon told me his #1 goal as a crew chief today was to try to keep his driver calm inside that race car. It's going to be 4 tires. The car is very good. They're very happy. No changes for the 22.
And this car last year with Brad Keselowski at the wheel finished 4th in this race. And of course, last week, Kurt Busch took it to victory at Watkins Glen.
You know, we talked about braking and being concerned about can the brakes survive on the 22 car. Trust me, Todd Gordon's got the same concern. And they've done some great things to prepare this car. But whatever you're taking now, you got to worry about it catching up with you toward the end, Rusty, the last 10, 15 laps.
Well, one thing they need to worry about, they got to get those pit stops a little bit better. 19.2 seconds. That was pretty slow for those Penske guys. Those guys are generally rocket fast.
He was leading by 7 seconds. So
yeah,
he's going to be all right.
He's so fast right now, he can afford to mess up a little bit, can't he?
Alex Kennedy trying to do all he can to stay on the lead lap right now. Kennedy is 34th. The last car, as we mentioned, has only 2 cars out of the race. Morgan Shepherd, Jeff Green, and Andrew Ranger is off and for all intents and purposes out, as his car's still in that runoff area, well out of harm's way. Looks like Robbie's going to get around the 23 safely here as they head into turns 13 and 14.
Yeah, I just can't get over how much these cars get in the air and they slam back down. And we know that they coil bind these front springs. We know they have a splitter that's a little bit delicate. Gosh, it's really abusive. This track is as hard on the car as any that we go to.
Robbie Gordon's best road course finish in the Nationwide Series has been second twice. He's not yet won. The 5-car, Ron Fellows, a former winner here, is in. Jim?
That's right. Ron Fellows decided to come down. They have been pretty happy with the race car. He's not complaining much about this. Ron Fellows is going to take 4 tires and multiple Sunoco Racing Fuel. This will get them where they want to be. This was the first big stop of this race in terms of their fuel mileage strategy. As you see, the second can of racing fuel is going in, and Ron Fellows should be good to go, still on schedule.
Yeah, he pitted on lap 13 and now again here on lap number 32. There is your race leader, Robbie Gordon. Behind is Jason Leffler by 9 seconds, however, with J.R. Fitzpatrick listed in 3rd here at Montreal. ESPN's coverage of the NFL preseason continues Monday night. Jake Cutler and the Bears take on Eli Manning and the Giants. It's Monday Night Football, preseason action on ESPN. Monday at 8 Eastern, and the coverage begins 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown. Back here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, race leader Robbie Gordon has 11-second margin over Jason Leffler. Now, got to remember, everybody's on different pit strategies, but Gordon and Leffler both pitted on lap number 12, and Gordon's opened up a 11-second lead. In fact, let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance and pick it up with 2nd place. And how about it, Jim?
Jason Leffler has been running pretty good. In fact, he really needs a good run, Marty, because he is trying to get back on track. Only 1 top 10 in 4 starts here. Now, a big issue for Jason Leffler was taking care of his brakes. They talked about it all day Friday, that he and crew chief Eddie Pardue. But there's been a problem. Take a listen.
The brakes are gone. Therefore, take care of them, bud. Take care of them.
That seems to be the issue with a lot of these teams here. You can say you're going to take care of your brakes, but taking care of them in the heat of battle is a whole other deal. Shannon?
Well, speaking of brakes, Jim, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. since lap 10 has been having an issue with his. You saw him on pit road. They went underneath the car. They made sure everything was tight and there was no leaks. They didn't find anything, but he has been struggling, just trying to stay on the course right now. It's all about the championship, the end of the season, because they came into this race as your points leader and just trying to escape with a good finish here today. Jim?
With only 2 top 10s in his last 6 races, Justin Allgaier really needs a good run. Also, he comes into this race 5th in points, 80 back. Now, he says he's not good at fuel mileage races, but remember, he did win a fuel mileage race essentially in Chicago earlier this year. Of course, he did run out of fuel at Road America. Justin Allgaier right now is trying to keep his car underneath him and save fuel. Rick?
Danica
of Patrick, it's all about fuel strategy. They knew going in the door that they were going to have to do their best to try to manage the fuel. They pitted, so I think they're in a situation now where they think they may be able to go the rest of the way in one stop. It's all been about coaching so far. They've been talking to her on the radio, making sure that she knows where her lap times are and that her lap times are just fine. So it's all about coaching her through this. Remember, this is her first nationwide race on a road course. Jim?
Jason Leffler has come in. We told you about his brake issue. Not a whole lot they can do about that right now, but they will pack that car full of fuel, send him on his way back on pit schedule. Shannon.
Robbie Gordon, guys, just over the radio saying that he is out of fuel, but he was able to get it started. As you see him on the racetrack right now, just maintaining, coming down pit road for a pit stop. Guys, he's been out there for a while. His last pit stop was right around lap 12. So as you see, Robbie Gordon's going to have to come down for fuel.
In fact, Gordon has slowed markedly. In fact, he stayed out one lap too long, guys. He is shown right now in 12th position.
Yeah, I just don't understand that, you know, that you can't have those types of mistakes, particularly on a road course.
So he pitted on lap 12, then is pitted here on lap number 35, but he surrendered quite a bit of track position. Right now it means Jacques Villeneuve has gone back into the race lead with Marcus Ambrose 8.6 seconds behind.
Yeah, and he's so good on road courses that when you get to the lead, you can just discipline yourself, remind yourself, don't spin the tires on the exit, don't drag the left front or right front as I'm braking into the corners, don't miss a shift, be smooth on the shifter. It's easy to take care of your car here, and Todd Gordon's got to hope that he is as he drives to the outside, braking into turn one.
And the problem with that, Ricky, is they can't remember all that stuff. I agree with you. Everything you said is right on, but these guys get all wound up in those cars. They forget half that stuff.
It gets confusing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So there's your top 5 here at Montreal as we are halfway in the 74-lap events. Jason Leffler getting around his teammate Justin Allgaier, that is for 9th position on the racetrack. Everybody right now is chasing Jacques Villeneuve, the hometown favorite. He has a 5.4-second lead over Marcus Ambrose. 3rd place is Michael McDowell. 4th place, Alex Tagliani. 5th place is the 97 of Kyle Kelly. Now, we mentioned Robbie Gordon. Right now, he's running in 11th position. We talked about the fact he stayed out one lap too long before he pitted. Here's what happened.
Fuel mileage absolutely sucks on these motors. 10-4, man. We're P11. We're all right here. Let's keep it up. Good job. Yeah, we're all right, but it's out of 10 seconds. You can't give up 10 seconds in racing.
Well, and the problem sometimes is self-induced. You said yourself earlier in the race, he has a tendency to want to play crew chief while he's in the car.
Well, Robbie's such a talent on road courses, but sometimes he just thinks too much. But I got to tell you, he sounds like a typical race car driver. Fuel mileage sucks with these engines. Okay, if that's not the problem, then the driver comes back and says, I need more horsepower. You can't have both.
Well, let's go back and show you what happened on the pit stop. Because the 10 seconds extra he's talking about that they lost on pit road, we can show you.
Yeah, right now he's coming down pit road. He ran out of gas coming down pit road. Seen him going over to the front of the car here after they put this tire on. Watch this. He grabs the fuel, puts it down the inlet there, trying to get fuel to the carburetor. Trying to get fuel to the carburetor. It's fueling right now. The car still won't fire. Trying to get it running. Making a normal pit stop here, but this thing is taking forever. This pit stop's almost 10 to 15 seconds too long right now, guys.
And you see the tape right where the jack is. That's where the left front tire is supposed to be, okay? So Robbie went deep in his stall. Why did that happen? Because he's preoccupied with running out of fuel. It just causes confusion.
And he is now 27 seconds behind the race lead.
Because of one misjudgment.
And that causes a driver to really overdrive and get frustrated. They got to calm him down because he's a good driver. He can still win this race, guys. We're only about halfway through, a little past halfway through right now.
Let's check in on Scott Speed in the 33 and the 5 of Ron Fellows. They are running 5th and 6th on the race course. They are about 17 seconds behind the race leader.
And this 5 car, Ron Fellows, Mr. Smooth, I call him. Every time I see him on a road course, not making mistakes, keeping it on course, smooth shifts, does everything right. You know, this guy has just won everything in the country. Done a lot of things, and now he's even a track owner, I hear. Marty?
Yeah, he's
part of Mosport, is that correct?
Yeah, he's part owner in Mosport up here in Canada. In fact, speculation is that if this race were to leave, that the folks at Mosport would like to get it. And Ron has said, no, we'd like to add a second race in Canada. He wants to keep this race here in Montreal, as do every driver we talk to.
Yeah, it sounds like he's got a lot of money. Every car owner or every car driver that has a racetrack that I know of has a lot of money. Don't you have a driver?
I was wondering where you're going with that. I mean, that's a good way to get yourself in problems, too. But there's some real good ones, and there's some ones not so fortunate, that's for sure.
Let's check in on what's going on. We got action there with the 39 of Luis Martinez and the 7 of Danica Patrick. Danica gets around him. She is shown right now in the 11th position, but remember, she has a stop still to come. A lot of different fuel strategies, and we'll keep you up on that. And there's Carl Edwards. Haven't talked much about Carl today because he's been working his way up through the field as well.
Yeah, he's been getting through these. Right now he's in the 12th position, running respectable lap times. Not the fastest lap time. That last time by a 105.03. And there's been a lot of 103.30s. Alex Tagliano just knocked out the fastest lap so far at that time. Him and Villeneuve have really been flying throughout this race.
Well, you look at Carl Edwards right there. His last pitted on lap 27. Jim, what are you hearing?
Well, actually, Marty, that was a very interesting pit stop on lap 27. The gas man actually dropped the gas can right onto the deck when Carl Edwards came in. They got it back in. Cost him about 4 or 5 seconds, but that's about been the busiest, well, if you don't count his plane flight, probably the craziest part of his day so far. Rick?
Talking about Danica Patrick, we've all talked a lot about the brakes today and the fact that the brakes are getting hot. A little while ago, she came on the radio and said she's getting hot. And they were saying, we've got something for you when the next pit stop. Remember, their goal is one more pit stop for the rest of the race, and then they can go the distance. They were fuel strategy all the way, and the fact that she's running right now in 11th place is a very good run for Danica today.
Caution in that one corner, and now a full course caution here as you finish up, Rick. The 52.
Yellow flag is out.
Louis-Philippe Dumoulin is stopped on the side of the road, now trying to get it refired. So here we are under our second caution.
Yeah, Rusty and I were going to let you pronounce his name.
Dumoulin. His brother did not
job.
make the field. My high school French teenager still has conniptions every time I try and speak French. But let's set it for you because Villeneuve is going to lose his 5.5-second lead. And we were just getting ready to finish. We finished up on Danica Patrick. She pitted on lap number 24. Here we are working lap number 41. And so I don't think you want to come in under this yellow. You're going to have to stay out a little longer.
It's going to give us an opportunity to kind of establish a cycle because with so many mixed strategies, we didn't know who was on cycle, off cycle. Now, how many of these guys are going to hit pit road?
Well, it's going to be a mixed strategy, Ricky. There's no doubt about that. But one thing I'm looking at right now, well, I know I'm beating this thing about the brakes to death, but right now these brakes are pretty weak in these cars. It's going to bunch everybody back up. They're going to fly into turn 1. They're going to fly down to turn 10. They're not going to be able to stop. I wouldn't be surprised if we tear some cars up on this upcoming restart.
Pits are closed, so we're going to step aside for a quick commercial break under our second caution as we've completed 40 of the 74 laps. So nobody can go the distance if they decide to stop now.
Downloading music can be expensive. So to save money, I've trained my dog in this cockatoo to play all the hits of the 80s. Hit it, Mr. Butters.
There's an easier way to save. Get online. Go to geico.com. Get a quote. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Engines are tuned. So are Mobil 1 motor oils. Tuned for blistering performance. Tuned for everyday extremes. And with Mobil 1 Extended Performance, tuned to keep your engine running like new for up to 15,000 miles between oil changes. Mobil 1 Extended Performance, from the motor oil brand designed to keep your engine running like new.
Our second caution continues here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, as there is his son Jacques leading this field. In fact, Jacques has led a total of the 26 of the 41 laps we've completed. We've had a total of 4 leaders, 5 lead changes. The other leaders have been Robbie Gordon, Scott Speed, Jason Leffler, each of them leading a total of 5 laps. We have a total of 29 cars on the lead lap, and it will be Joe Nemechek getting the lucky dog. I think it will be. And off to the distance, it's getting cloudy, and there is a report of a potential rainstorm, and it looks pretty bad on our radar, and it's about 40 miles away. So this race is official. So now it's a matter of, could we be racing up against the rain again? I know, this was a perfect day.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I can't believe this. It was so clear, nothing on the radar. Major storm develops. We might get clobbered again.
But wait a minute. We've got rain tires.
But we're halfway.